Hi, this is Gene Haas, and this is Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
All right, welcome back to the show. Happy Halloween, everybody out there. Oh, it's very sad for me. All my kids are getting grown up. Nobody cared about Halloween. It's
No
very
trick-or-treating.
sad. Yeah. All right, we're going to welcome our next guest because we're very excited. We have a young race driver who just got through racing at Dakota during the Formula 1.
Yeah, this is who I really want to talk to.
In front of 400,000 people. We want to welcome Jake Bonilla to the show. Jake, welcome to Speed City, buddy.
How you doing, guys? Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. How scary was it to be on that stage? How fun was it to be on the Coda stage?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, looking up into turn one and seeing all those people, it was a little nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, it's just another race, so I was very focused. But yeah, it was absolutely incredible. There's nothing like that.
I bet you didn't even think about it. As soon as those lights went out, you didn't even think about the crowd, did you?
Yeah, not really. It was mainly just finding my position and trying to win the race. That's pretty much all that goes through my head while I'm driving.
How did it go?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, the first qualifying session, we qualified P7. And then in race one, we moved up to P4. So that was really good. We got to have some nice battles with some of the top guys. And then since we finished P4 that race, I had the second fastest lap time. So that qualified me for the front row of the second race. So that was kind of cool being the only United States driver on the front row that weekend.
That is awesome.
And by the way, for those pure Texans out there, let's be quite clear. Jake is on not only because he's an up-and-coming Formula One / Indy aspirant, he is a Texan.
Yes, I am. I love to represent.
Where were you born? I mean, we say San Antonio, but were you born there?
Yeah, I was born in San Antonio. I moved out to Bernie, Texas for a little bit, but now I'm back in San Antonio.
Cool.
Yeah, you are a Texan. You're
another Pato Award.
Yes, I am.
Do you know Pato?
I do, actually. I used to go to school with him a while back, and it's funny that you mentioned him because on Thursday, whenever we were loading in to the paddock at Coda, I saw him there, so I got to talk to him a little bit.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was cool to touch base with him again.
And he's got a test at Abu Dhabi thanks to winning here in Texas for McLaren.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Well, listen, you're a good example. We were just talking to Tony Perella about, the Junior Series, the FR Series coming this weekend, and obviously we had you guys for the F4. But tell our audience a little bit about how you fit in on the ladder and the sort of options open to you.
So yeah, this is my second year doing F4, and I don't have nearly as much experience as these kids, so having the 2 years in F4 has helped a lot because I've gotten to see how the drivers pretty much are when they race. Just about like the moves that they do and like the times that they're putting in and just like the competition level. But yeah, it's taken me about 2 years just to kind of get up with it with the other kids. But we're definitely excelling at it. I mean, finishing top 10 this weekend at Coda was a really big part of it.
Yeah, really impressive.
So Jake, what did you do before this? What did you do what kind of karting and what other racing? What'd you do?
So I really have no background. I've just always loved cars. And I mean, I've done just street driving normally. And then I worked at a go-kart track when I was 15. That's pretty much the only experience that I had. And for my birthday, I asked my dad if I could get a test in the Formula 4 with the team in Austin. And we ended up doing that, and I did really well. I surprised the coach, and we ended up doing the season with Jensen.
Wait, that's actually amazing that you had nothing and stepped into an F4 car and did that well. Because even in your last year, in your first year, you had a couple of top 10s, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, we had a couple of top 10s, which was really cool because I know a lot of these guys that I'm racing with. They all know each other from karting and other types of racing events. So whenever I stepped up in there, everybody was just kind of like, who is this guy? Like, why is he fast, I'm guessing. So, but yeah, it took me a little bit to get up to play with it. But once I did, I ended up doing pretty well.
So how old are you now?
I'm 19.
And I see you sitting in what looks to be like a race gaming rig. Do you do a lot of sim? I see you smiling. Do you do a lot of sim racing?
Yeah, I do. I love sim racing. It's so much fun, especially if I'm going to a track that I haven't raced at in person before. It's a really nice thing just to learn the lines. So when I get there for the practice days, that I already kind of know what's coming up because some corners they can take you it'll take you a little bit to get down.
Yeah. Well, do you attribute that sim time? Were you doing that a bunch before you raced in F4 last year?
No, so we really got the sim just because so before I started racing, I would play Forza and that type of stuff just with like a little remote. But once we started doing the Formula 4, I thought it was like super important to know exactly what the tracks are like when I get there. So sim has helped me a lot with that.
Smart.
Yeah, but I'm sitting here trying to figure out how someone with no experience could be that good so fast. I mean, obviously just pretty naturally talented. But what kind of do you do? PC racing and pedals and wheels and all that stuff now? Or?
Yeah, I have the pedals and the wheels. A lot of the time, like at school, I would always get in trouble because I would be on the computers watching F4 races, like F4, and just kind of getting to learn more things about the tracks. I've watched a bunch of like the GT races here in the United States just to see the lines that they're taking. You just really take it all in just to kind of learn for myself before I got back on the wheel of anything.
And Jake, what's your overall ambition? I mean, what's your 5 years from now? I mean, where would you like to see yourself if it all goes to plan?
I would love to go to IndyCar. I mean, those cars are, and all the technology that's going into them, it's nuts. And if that doesn't work out, I love GT cars as well. So GT3 cars would be amazing. I know it's a little bit of a different road just because there's its differences, obviously, like aero wise and having more like chassis roll and that type of stuff with the two differences. But I would love to learn about both series.
Okay, so what's next year? I mean, FR Americas or Road to Indy? What's next?
So what I think we're gonna do, so USF Juniors is gonna be a new series, and that's gonna be kind of like the stepping stone into like the Indy, like into IndyCar, those Indy, or like USF 2000, Indy Pro, like that type of stuff. So I think it's
so very similar to what Kyle Kirkwood did.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really good to do the USF Juniors. And then I think
what kind of car is that?
Yeah, is it an F3?
So it's the exact same chassis that we're using now. It's the same F4 chassis. It's just I think they're making the series just because the step from F1600, the Lucas Oil School, to
the Formula Ford, to
USF 2000 is a really big jump. So they needed something that was in between, and the USF Juniors is what's going to be that kind of like in between stage.
So it's the same one. So halos or no halos?
I believe that there's no halos that are going to be on these.
That makes sense.
Not completely sure what the regulations.
But everything above that will be halos.
Yeah, I was thinking they were going halos even at the F4 level at some point. I thought maybe next year they might do it, but anyway, yeah.
How about Ernie getting a test in Indy Lights? Ernie Francis Jr. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. He did great in the FR season, so, and especially with the Trans Am season as well. I mean, at the race weekends, because we were alongside Trans Am, I got to see him just hop back and forth in between both of the cars. I was like, that's awesome. Like, I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
Jake, we were just talking at the top of the show about the interest in Formula One and how it's grown and galvanized in this country. You're a teenager. Have you noticed it, that people didn't know what the heck you were talking about at first, but now suddenly they watch Drive to Survive and they get it?
Yeah, motorsports has definitely become a huge part now, like in the United States. I know that it was a big thing in Europe, and it's just now starting to become a big thing here in the United States. And Formula One and like the Netflix series has definitely helped people to understand kind of what's going on, all the drama behind it, and like how it's not just getting behind a wheel and just driving it. There's so much more that goes into it. But yeah, it's definitely starting to gain a lot more popularity here in the States.
Are you seeing that in your age group and even younger maybe?
Yeah, a lot of people, when I tell them I race cars, they're just like, that's insane. Like, I never, like, how do you even get into that type of stuff? And they always want to talk more about it and just learn more about it. So I feel like a lot of people are getting more interested in learning about it for sure.
Yeah, we were looking at all the numbers about the younger audience. I was just thinking that I wonder, it's funny, the Netflix series, it feels like it's more of an older audience, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, are people talking, the young people talking about that Netflix series?
There's a little bit. I mean, I've recommended the Netflix series to a lot of people that don't really have an understanding about it, just so they can kind of get up to speed with Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen and all of like the F1 drivers, because it's a really nice show and crazy show that they put on out there. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are my age that are starting to look into it.
Hey, so did you get to be a fan of F1 during the weekend? Did you get like
They hide them away
I know
in the
you're in a
paddock.
separate paddock or anything, but did you get over into the F1 paddock and
You saw Pato.
Well, that's true, yeah, but did you get to meet any of the drivers or anything?
The closest thing, so on our track walk on Wednesday, I believe, I saw Valtteri Bottas. He was there. Carlos Sainz was there. Who else did I see? I think that was it for the track walk. But in our paddock, they were keeping Dale Earnhardt Dale Earnhardt's NASCAR.
NASCAR, yeah.
And I know that the McLaren, the CEO Zach Brown, he said that he would let Danny Rick in the car Dakota. So that car was actually parked right next to our trailer, and so we saw him get out of the little Cadillac thing, and I was like, "Is that Danny?" And then it ended up being him with his cowboy hat on. And I was like, "Oh my God, that's crazy."
That's great. That's a good one.
That outfit was a little over the top.
No, not for Dan.
Yeah, it was perfect for Netflix. How about that?
There you go.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Jonathan and I, we did a track walk on Wednesday.
Yeah, we did. Actually, we did. We went up to turn 10 to see
we
how
didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, we didn't tell anybody. But no, we wanted to see how the grading worked, and you probably know this. Dakota suffers from up and down sometimes from bumps and stuff, but I think they did a pretty good job. I mean, you're in a very lightweight car. I mean, how did it feel?
So going down, like coming out of turn 1, like turn 2 and 3 before we get to the S's, there's a bump there on the apex that we usually hit. But I was able to find a different line to apex a little bit later going into there. So,
it's what Kevin Schwantz has been telling us for years, and he said it again during.
It's the same for everyone.
It's the same for everyone. You find what works for you, and so Jake, did that work for you? Like your driving style, or tell us more about that.
So usually with our driving style, we try to apex as late as possible, or because for a lot of the times it helps us with straight line braking and stuff like that, just depending on the circuit. But it did really help there for sure. And then going into the S's, the bumps are really hard to miss, but the balance of the car was really, really well that weekend. We had a really good mechanic that was there. So he had everything perfect for when I got there. So when I just got in the car, it felt amazing.
And we'll talk about that a little bit. The setup, was you talking about the suspension setup, tire temperatures, tire pressures, all that stuff?
Yeah, so the setup, just like the balance, like the way that the car, like the stability of the car going over the bumps, because I know a lot of people were having some issues that weekend with losing the rear end as soon as you get over those. Mm-hmm. But as soon as, I believe that we connected our rear sway bar, so it was pretty, or I think it was stiffer in the back. So as soon as it hit over the bump, it would just catch like right on the ground, and then I was able just to go. But yeah, the car felt great. The temperature was also another thing that was really nice because we most of our sessions were in the morning. So once I was able to get heat in the tires, they weren't going bad very soon. Like usually it happens in Texas because it's 100 degrees all the time. But yeah, overall, it was just such a great weekend with setup, with finishing, like in the points and all of that.
Jake, can I ask about that? Yeah, I just wanted to, just while I've got you on, I think it's a great opportunity. I'm sure there's some millionaire Texans who are desperate to invest in a youngster like you. But tell us about that side of it, because we all know that motor racing is expensive. I see you've got some sponsors on your hat. You've got the team shirt on. But how do you go about gathering your budget for the year ahead? And just give people an insight as to what it's going to take for you to get to Indy.
Yeah, so we try to talk to as many people as possible. Fortunately, we did have some sponsorships for the last year and this year. So I've just been going out and just talking to a bunch of Texas-based, because a lot of Texas-based things like to sponsor if they're smaller because they'd like to get their name out there. Mm-hmm. And he didn't give us any money or anything, but there's a guy named Herb, and he's one of the Southwest workers at the airport, but he's always been super, super supportive of my racing. And he has a barbecue sauce here in San Antonio that's sold at H-E-B. And we put his decal on the side of the car so we could get as much publicity for him out there.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so that was really cool. But yeah, it's mainly just looking for sponsorships and then having my parents backing, which is amazing. They've been helping me out a lot. And that's partially why I think doing another year of USF juniors is going to be awesome, because now we're going to be able to fight for the championship and get that scholarship to go to USF 2000.
Yeah, and that is a huge part. I mean, I mentioned Clark Kirkwood. That's what he's managed to do. He doesn't have bucket loads of money, but he keeps winning. And if you can win on that ladder, you can win all the way. And in fact, in Jake's particular instance, if you go up to FR, for example, there's a chance for Kiffin Simpson or even Josh Carr to win $600,000 from Honda. So Honda are a big part of all this. They've played a big role in helping these youngsters. And now there really truly is an American ladder to success that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to pay for everything if you can win. If you've got the talent, it'll shine.
Yeah, and there's so many choices right now. I mean, before we didn't even have F4
And
US
FR,
and
yep.
FR Americas.
Yeah,
We didn't have those.
2016 was the first F4. Yeah.
Hey, Jake, I want to ask you something. So you said you were a big car guy before.
Yes.
Were you a race fan before? Were you watching NASCAR or F1 or anything?
I was. So I was a huge NASCAR fan. Ever since I was little, I've had almost every single Hot Wheels NASCAR that you could think of. I have a huge collection, and everywhere I would go, I would take the NASCAR Hot Wheels with me. Like everywhere I would go.
Did you watch today? Oh, go ahead. Finish up.
Oh, today I didn't get the chance to. It's been kind of crazy with Halloween and everything. My parents are throwing like a little party here at the house,
Hamlin's pretty scary. That's worth a watch.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch it today, but yeah, I've always been a NASCAR fan and just a racing fan in general. No one in my family has had a racing background, so we didn't really know how to get into it until I started doing a little bit of research and kind of ease my way into things, started to figure out what's going to be the easiest thing, because with how expensive it is, budget is a huge thing, especially when you don't have a lot of money to spend, and doing well is a huge part. And that's why I feel like I'm getting this second chance or third chance at doing USF juniors, is because we've been able to do pretty well.
You're a big car guy. What kind of car do you drive every day?
I drive a Lexus RC350.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the two-door. It was my mom's car originally, and I've always just loved the body style, because when Lexus came out with that body style, I was just always like, wow.
Yeah, the two-door is cool. It's good looking car. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Lexus. Nice.
And so I just started customizing it. I mean, I have it on a really aggressive wheel setup. I have it on bags. I have a full aero kit for it. So good.
Finally, a racing driver with some. We usually get these boring cars.
I know. It's like I drive a pickup. So you got a little negative camber going on?
Yeah, I have negative 4.5 degrees in the back.
There you go.
He's going through a set of tires quite frequently. But go ahead, finish it. What else you got?
Almost every month. And then I just a couple months back, I bought a 1998 Honda Prelude. That's always been one of my dream cars. I was able to find one here in San Antonio. So I've just been working on that, getting it to run, making it look good. I just recently wrapped it, so the paint is looking nice, and
that's an investment. That car is going to keep going up. I've been watching those on Bring a Trailer. Those are going to start going up.
Isn't it great to see car guys in their teenagers years? I love it.
I know.
Proper car guys.
All my work money has been pretty much just going into that, just getting it fixed up. I've had to just replace a few things just to get it to run properly.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna race it?
I'm not gonna race it. It's mainly gonna be for show. I like traveling around Texas to take the cars to shows.
Okay, cool.
Because they're not. You can make them fast, but the H22 is the engine that's in it. It's not the most reliable car to do power things to. So I'm probably just gonna go mainly for show, and then at some point, if the engine blows up, then I might just do some little K swap or something for it.
Well, Jake Bonilla, look, we are completely out of time. Congratulations on a great showing at COTA.
Yeah, well done.
Really fun to see an American do so well in front of that huge crowd.
Are you coming out this weekend to watch the
FR
FR boys?
Boston?
What is it for?
It's
for the FR, your seniors, as it
Oh
were,
yeah,
the FR Americas.
I might head down there because one of my friends, Logan, he's going to be racing, so
Cool.
I might head down there just to go and support him.
Good.
You're an hour away, buddy. Come on up.
Yes, for sure. I'd love to go.
All right. Well, Jake Bonilla, thank you very much for coming on. We really appreciate it. Very fun talking to you.
Let him do his social.
Yeah, tell people how to find you.
So on Instagram, it's Jake_Bonilla. And also on Instagram, it's ZDO Motorsport. That's pretty much the same thing. Those are both my accounts. It's the racing account and then just my main account. But I post on both of them, so y'all can always stay up to date with what's going on.
And you got some nice videos on. Yeah, it's nice to see see what you're up to. It's good.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, a lot of video and just pictures I'm going to be posting up pretty soon of the F1 weekend. I posted a few recently, but there's definitely going to be a photo dump of the rest.
Cool. All right, Jake. Good to talk to you, and we'll talk to you soon.
As well.
All right. See
Thanks,
you.
Jake. Appreciate it.
All right, we're going to go straight to break. When we come back, we'll talk a little more. We'll talk a little more F1 too.
And the tickets.
That's right, and the tickets. All right, we'll be back after these messages.
Hi, this is Karun Chandok, and you're listening to Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
Karun Chandok, thank you, but he stopped by the booth
Yeah,
at
he did.
Coda, and he was so excited to see you.
I've known him since he was 10.
Well, he hung around like you were doing other things. He hung around for like 5 minutes waiting to talk to you.
I know. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
He is. I really like what he's grown into on F1 on the
He's
F1
a really
Sky
nice
broadcast.
young man.
All right, what else we got, Jonathan? We got about 3 minutes left. We are giving away tickets to the Austin Speed Tour.
Go to our website, right?
Yep, go to speedcitybroadcast.com/win.
And answer those questions.
Just answer anything you want. But the three questions are all about Corvettes.
But hey, come out. Listen, no kidding aside.
Yes, it's gonna be a
an
blast.
infomercial maybe because obviously I'm part of Trans Am and I love Trans Am. But you really do get a chance, as Tony said, to get amongst it, to get in the paddock, to bring your daughter, your son, whoever, and go up to a 1958 Corvette and have a look at it.
It's like I was saying, people, if you've recently gotten into motorsports, Netflix or whatever, this is a perfect event. You know, Formula One is this explosion that you're in the middle of, right? But this, you can walk straight in. You know, you got to see Danica Patrick and everybody walking through the paddock the other day, and you get to be in the same spots as Formula One was last week, and watch it and going to see all these cool classics. Everything from old Mustangs, but foreign cars like old Alfa Romeos and Porsches, but Corvettes, Camaros, everything, Ferraris, Aston Martins, you name it, and all different vintages too. And of course, I'm really looking forward to see the lap times on the FR Americas. That's an F3 car. That'll be probably 203, 204 out at Coda.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, and
it's the
same engines. It's the same engine, the Honda Civic engine, but this has got the turbo on with the FR.
As the F4. Yeah, the F3 and the F4 they're both Honda powered, but they're both the same engine that's in the really hot little Civic Type R that's being so talked about. Hey, we have 1 minute left. I have to talk. We talk all about Corvettes. Dang, I wish I'd told the producer to queue up the RPM of the new Corvette Z06. The red line. This is a Corvette.
Right.
8,600 RPMs in a Corvette. And they have never had, I owned the dual overhead cams from the 90s, right? And those had red lines in the 6s, right? And I had one that was modified and the red line was in the 7s. But 8,600 RPMs, making 670 horsepower, making it the highest horsepower, naturally aspirated engine you can buy in a production car on the planet. Yes, that includes the prancing horses, and you name it. It is the highest.
The Stuttgart Maestros?
Yeah, but because naturally aspirated. I mean, yeah, the GT3 has and the Ferraris have similar red lines, but they're nowhere near the horsepower. And this is truly a stunning evolution. I've used that word 3 times tonight. An amazing evolution of the Corvette. And the styling may be a little controversial, but the technology behind the new Corvette is really amazing. Really, I had to talk about it because it's just so much fun.
Are you going to go and see Tony's 1958?
I will be out there. I'm going to take lots of folks out there next weekend and just have some fun. We'll do a little Speed City work, but I'm going to have a lot of fun out there next weekend and enjoy it. I know you'll be working for Trans Am, but you'll be having some fun too.
Oh, heck yeah.
We're out of time. Thanks, everybody.
Been a good show.
Yeah, thanks for Tony Perella for coming on and tell us all. Jake Bonilla, he was a blast.
Yeah, good guy. And a car guy.
And a car guy. And a
proper
racer.
Car guy.
Proper car guy. All right, thanks everybody for tuning in. Next weekend, we got Formula One. So we'll be up. Well, actually, we won't be up right and early because it's Mexico. So tune in next week. We'll talk to you then.